We've been looking at our rainwater cistern to collect water from the roof of our cottage. Today we're going to look at some of the renewable energy systems that are in place in this building with Dr. Scott Fraizer from Biosystems Engineering. Scott, welcome to Oklahoma Gardening.
Hi Kim, thanks.
I thought before we describe the systems we're using, maybe you could tell us about some of the goals or expectations we should have when using renewable energy.
Sure. When I talk to customers who come to me and ask about renewable systems, I say that there's about 4 criteria that they want to think about. Number one, are they trying to save energy? In other words, costs. Are they trying to get away from energy volatility, prices going up and down? Are they environmentally conscious? And or is this just kind of a hobby for them? And it's important to figure out which one of these criteria are the important ones, because they may not be able to meet all of them.
And these criteria are going to help you design a system to meet your needs. Well, great. We chose this system. We had a need for power to our tool shed, and we've gone with a hybrid solar wind system that, of course, you've helped us design. You want to tell us a little bit more about this specific system?
Sure. This is, of course, you said a hybrid, which means that it uses both solar and wind. It has batteries capabilities, so it can work at night or off hours when the sun isn't shining or the wind's not blowing. And it's off-grid, so it's completely self-sufficient. The cost of connecting the grid to this made this project more viable than it might have been otherwise.
Absolutely. And now we use wind in this site more as a backup. Certainly different areas of Oklahoma are more suitable to wind power than others. Can you tell us a little bit about where those areas are?
Sure. If you look at a map of Oklahoma, and I-35 kind of divides it east and west. West of I-35, the wind profiles get better. East of I-35, not so good in Stillwater courses east of I-35. So our little wind system is more of a demonstration for all the customers in Oklahoma.
Yeah, we serve the entire state and certainly wanted to demonstrate all the possible options for homeowners. And one of those options that we chose to go with was converting the DC power to AC power.
For this little project, this is kind of mimicking a little home or a campsite or something like that. And so we convert DC, direct current, which is what the solar cells and some wind turbines put out DC, some put out AC, but to run normal type of appliances like little refrigerators and fans and computers and TVs, we need to convert to alternating current. So we've got an inverter inside that does that. If you wanted to use DC, then you have to buy special appliances that run just off DC, but they're available.
Well, Scott, we're also using the sun to heat our cottage. Can you tell us about this system and how it works?
Sure. This is a solar thermal wall. It's called a thermal siphon. It doesn't use any fans or any electrical power whatsoever. The hot air currents come in and it forms a draft, so to speak. It looks like an electrical photovoltaic panel, but it's not. It's completely passive, fairly simple device. Yeah,
we built this ourselves. It's one of those do-it-yourself projects for the handy gardener or homeowner. What are some of the applications that we might use the thermal wall in?
Well, any kind of structure where you want it to stay above a certain temperature during the daytime. For this, it's nice that in the wintertime people can come in and use the cottage even if it's fairly cold outside.
It certainly worked very well. Even I think we got down to 7 degrees
About
this
7
past
degrees
winter,
outside.
and it was almost balmy inside, so it worked very well.
For a few hours at least.
For a few hours. Now there's several different materials and we're kind of experimenting with this system. Can you tell me about some of the products you're testing?
Well, this glazing is a double wall glazing. It's a little more expensive, but it has some insulation capabilities, so at night you don't lose so much heat, but it's kind of expensive. This is plexiglass, and we're testing here if you might be able to use just regular glass or plexiglass, and you could get these salvaged materials, things like that. You could build this entire structure from salvaged wood, things like that. So this whole thing, you know, for just a couple $100, something like that.
Okay, well, it's a pretty adaptable system. We could use it on a potting shed, tool shed like we had, and fairly simple to build, a nice way to capture the sun and use it, put it to another purpose.
Sure is.
Well, thanks for joining me today and explaining some of these systems to us.
My pleasure.